Hello, everybody. It's Ian and Wendy again from Cloud 2020. Really happy to be here and to bring you just one of the times when we might be thinking about how things have changed in the whole kind of environment and marketplace that we work in at Cloud 2020, with particular today we're thinking particularly around the Power Platform. And I know, Ian, we've had a lot of discussions about this internally, about how we can see it kind of shifting and changing as we're still delivering the same Dynamics 365 platforms, sales, customer service, all the good stuff like marketing, etc. But one of the things we can see is actually Power Apps becoming the new kids on the block, I think.
Yeah, no, undoubtedly. I think it's been interesting from two different dimensions, really. One is from Microsoft and one is from the consumer, or customer. So I remember James Phillips, who used to run the whole Bis Apps division, a conversation he had, and somebody challenged him and said, look into the future, would you go Microsoft apps or would you go Power Apps? And he said Power Apps every time, and you could have heard a pin drop in the room. Mainly because everyone was making a lot of money at the time out of the Biz Apps. And same way, I had a chance to have a one-on-one with James Lamana, who now runs the Biz Apps, because we were looking at putting together an application at the time, but we wanted to use the name of an entity that they use in one of their apps. And I said, how do you feel about that? And he said, we can't give you all these clever tools and not allow you to use them. Yeah. So that was a real eye-opener. And I think if you fast forward from then to today, you do see that a lot more of that now. And for looking from the customer perspective, you've got these great applications like sales and customer service and what have you, which are amazing. But if you don't actually want those specific tools, or even perhaps to the level that they offer, you think of what sales offers now with Sales Accelerator and AI, Copilot, so on and so on and so on. That might not be what a SMB in particular needs, in which case it actually is feasible to build one. Now, there are lots of Microsoft partners out there putting together these apps, but also an SMB can now have a bit of confidence that to build one for themselves for their specific requirements, it's not a massive major undertaking, because Power Apps is something that you can very quickly, especially using model-driven apps, you can very quickly put together an efficient a tool for them that actually specifically meets their requirements and something that they can build on as they go forward. So very exciting times, really.
And I think I remember when way back in the day when I used to run a little IT reseller, we were always seeing people having, say, for example, within construction industry, having bought into a particular software that was built on some ancient system, and the people had long since lost the interest in actually developing it. So really they bought themselves into a dead end, but they did have it customized for them to start with. But the business moves on, the industry moves on, but actually you don't buy into a dead end when you buy into a Power App, because it can continue to be customized. And I just think this is a really exciting time to actually be looking at that type of application going into some very niche markets, really. And they don't need to be big markets because they don't have to cost a huge amount of money to create.
Yeah, no, it's a very, very important point to bring up. We've had a conversation with customers where, according to a platform, they want a new feature. It's either not going to happen, or if it does happen, they've got to wait for the release when everyone gets it. Whereas with a Power App, you want it, when you want it. It's that straightforward. So I think it releases an awful lot of constrictions and restraints on SMBs in particular. And I said before, it's not as frightening a thought of building your own app. And also, as we said to a lot of customers, you're not tied into one partner. It's an open architecture type process, and you can go elsewhere and get new flows done, new forms built, new entities added. It's all feasible.
And I think also we'd be missing a trick if we didn't mention, and also a very attractive licensing entry point as well for Power Apps when you're looking at that against the price for an enterprise license. And I think it definitely means that more small businesses should be considering either having taken a look at the app source and seeing what's available already, and finding a partner that can enable customization, particularly for them, or actually looking at engaging with a partner to develop Power Apps too.
Yeah, that's a very valid point you make there. I think if you think just putting together the platform, then picking something off app source, which may or may not do most of the work, and then there may be a small customization to go on top of that, and away you go.
Yeah, exciting times.
Exactly.
Unless we lead a very sheltered life, Ian, and we just find Power Apps really exciting.
We should get out. We should get out more often, let's be honest.
Yeah, we should. Thanks very much.